All right, ruggah. An unfortunate way for you guys to kind of go out of the tournament with the flame situation. Tell me a bit about that series and like, were you guys expecting anything more, knowing like the unfortunate circumstances that you were going into the game with?
Actually, we've been quite unlucky the whole week. Figo was also feeling sick, also on the first day of I think our second day of playing, so I don't even remember. So we've been kind of hit a lot by this flu that's running around. I can also hear talents, other players coughing like 24/7. So unfortunate. This morning where flameZ was the one hit the most by it, and he had a big fever this morning. So yeah, playing with him would probably have been the same outcome on the two first maps.
Yeah. For you, jumping into the server, how often do you actually get a chance to play, or is most of your time on the server always doing demos and like focusing on other teams?
It's normally not playing. When I play, it's normally with my friends because we have this common hobby from when we were like 13, 14 years old. So when I play, it's mostly with them, but obviously I know the strats, I know how people position, I watch a lot of demos. So the CT sides were a little bit easier than the T sides because you could rely on your brain a little bit more.
With Vladdy, the general manager, being a former pro player, was there any chance that we could have seen her jump onto the server today?
No.
And for you, being that kind of voice in the team as a coach, when you're on the server with Nexa, is it hard to kind of like hold yourself back and not overcall Nexa, or do you just give him plenty of space?
We talked a little bit about it. I think the starting idea was that I tried to help as much as I could, but it also felt a little weird because we also didn't want to play our full normal style, so it became very individual, guys calling what they wanted to do here and there. And when we then wanted to go back playing maybe like 5-man unit CS, I pitched in as much as I could. But obviously flameZ has a very important role in our strats. It's not for fun that he is the most traded player across AGL Severe stats, so that was a hard road to fill, and I also think if we can replay it again, I think I'll just play strats from spawn again.
You mentioned Fico also being kind of hit with that flu. He was a player that kind of struggled in this series, like there were stages where you were like even out fragging him. For you as the coach, not being able to stand behind them and call the timeouts, like it's more kind of I guess difficult for you to get involved, to try and pick him up. What was that like on the server?
You couldn't feel it at all, and to be fair, it's also because he's normally playing alongside flameZ. So when I kind of separated me a little bit from him, trying to play jumper here, jumper there, obviously he doesn't get the same situations as he normally do. So I'm not thinking too much about it. That's kind of unfortunate, but I had a good practice in underground on overpass, and that's why he was playing B also. So yeah, I think him losing flameZ was probably a bigger hit for him than it was for me just going in and playing freely.
You also mentioned that you guys have kind of like struggled with different things during this tournament. How much are you actually going to put into this tournament as in looking back, or is it just going to be able to like brush it off in terms of like the stuff that you had to go through?
I think we have some key points that we need to do better, which we have been evaluating on a daily basis, like communication, like getting on the same page and building the picture of what's happening on the server for each other. That will be one of our things that we will continue to work on, because that's what we're kind of missing against the best teams, like FaZe got into our heads on that regard when we played them in Blast, and I think also against Heroic we were lacking some small pieces of information here and there that could have turned it. But obviously we look back that we also only lost one game with our starting roster, and it was against the world #1, against Heroic that probably also will be in semis, if not like the finals. So that loss I'm not taking too hard, and I'm not going to use this game for anything else than watching at least our CT system. If they feel good and if it worked with me, I think we have something that works.
And ahead of Pro League that's coming up, are you guys going to get a chance to put in more practice in terms of boot camps and stuff, or what's the plan before then?
EPL we're down prioritizing a little bit, also because we have close qualifier for the Arma next week, and then we again go on the road for a long time. And I think right now we've been on the road for 36 days in a row. So coming back home, it's all about refreshing, getting the motivation back, and then focusing on EPL when we get there. I don't think we're going to practice more than a couple of days.